Liam, welcome back to SNTTV. I suppose this might be a bit of an awkward chat tonight, but I suppose it's good for the fans to hear your thoughts. It's been an interesting weekend of football and then a Tuesday night to forget really in some respects for the fans. But let's just cast our minds back to Dorchester, because I know the two games are very similar in many respects, but we just seemed to be goal happy on Saturday, didn't we?
Mason, you win that! Win that, Mason!
Leave him in there! Get up! Drive! Come on, down!
No, we're in.
Yes, you're in! Come on, Jack! Hold your space. There you go. Yes!
Well done, Gil. Come on, mate. Come on, back on it. Kieran, well done. Good. Kieran, well done. Don't get it moving now, Hoyt. Yes, still. Turn Can you Mace?
Bits now, Louis! Yes! That's it! Last time, yeah? Come on that toe! Come on, Jack! Go! Gap to it!
done. Well come on, mate. Yeah, I like it. Great stuff. Come on, Leonard. Come on, Leonard. He's trying again. That's how.
You've got to be better.
Turn. You're in. You're in. Join. Early cross. Tony in front. Must have an early cross.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's strong. They get sucked in, Nate.
Get out.
Come on, runners! Come on!
Yeah, definitely. And I think Saturday's result almost papered over some cracks that became apparent on Tuesday night, if I'm going to be completely honest. From an attacking performance, probably you won't see better. And it really highlighted some of the strengths we had. But going the other way, it really highlighted the biggest weaknesses we have. So I think you've seen, in the rawest sense, what St Neots are where we're at right now. Very good going forward, but unfortunately we're not doing our jobs collectively when we're defending, and I felt that was in both performances, especially Tuesday night. That's where it became very apparent.
mate, well done. Now go, back. Now go. 190, narrow it, narrow it. Pass on, hold your body. Time, time, time. Back it.
So we've got one thing right and one thing dreadfully wrong, and obviously this is going to come down to a team effort now, because we've got to dig in now, and I don't think we're lacking confidence. We've just got to apply ourselves throughout the whole game, haven't we? Because we started both games very well, and obviously Saturday we got the early goal, and we sort of settled in then, and it was looking good, to be honest.
Yeah, certainly. I think that application is a massive point. The biggest point for me that I took from both games was common sense, being streetwise, looking at the conditions, looking at the team you're playing, look at the state of the game you're in, and players being able to decide how to shut a game down and see it out. I felt that Saturday I didn't see anyone on the field when we'd taken the lead 5 times throughout the game. I didn't see at any occasion anybody trying to settle the team down. I was screaming my head off from the touchline, but didn't really see collectively them decide to say, look, let's be tight for 5 minutes. The goals were very quick turnovers, which shows you that people were getting overexcited with how we were going forward, and not one person, or I should say a team point of view, no one took that responsibility to close the game down. And I think that Tuesday night it was the same, really, that no one recognised the conditions. Slough chose to kick with the wind, and I think that what we needed to do was to play ugly, which I think we struggled to do in that first half, see it out, shut the game down, shut shop up, be difficult to break down, be difficult to beat, and limit their opportunities. And I think that nobody recognised those conditions, and nobody had said this is what we need to do. And when the game kicks off and you're watching the game from the sidelines, there's only so many messages you can get on, really trying to encourage that to happen. We spoke at half time about it, and you see in the second half performance where we limited their chances. But I was disappointed really that none of the lads, and there's some experienced lads out there on both games, none of them could see that happening and decided to try and be leaders on the park and shut the game off.
I mean, all credit to Slough for what they did. Like a lot of teams when they come here, they've set up a robust, hard-working side that were just looking to try and get opportunities from either their terrific long throw they had or dead ball situations. Other than that, they weren't too ambitious going forwards, were they? No,
but like I've said, that's 80% of teams in this league, and if you can't get used to playing the Sloughs, the Cheshams, the Hitchins of this league, that's what the league's about, and that's what the players need to start to understand, that a lot of teams will come here and play percentage football, go long, go direct. Hopefully we make mistakes, and I think we're kind of getting that opinion that if we're put under pressure and the ball's forced down our throat, that we will make mistakes, and that responsibility lies with us. I've got to clean that up on the training ground. Springy, Kingy, we've all got to work harder, and the lads have got to be on board and recognise that when we're asking them to do things like shut the game down, play ugly for 10 or 15 minutes, play direct for 10 or 15 minutes, that we're doing it because that's what we need to do to win a game. You can't keep playing football all the time. Sometimes you need to recognise that, listen, for 10 minutes we have to kill the game, we have to kill the momentum, and that's what we need to go on the training ground and work on.
So it's all about showing some desire and changing what we're doing.
Yeah, certainly.
In periods of the game.
Yeah, without a doubt, and that has to be recognised from the players. You can tell when you play football and when the pressure's on you a little bit, the responsible players need to say, okay, get the bodies around them, have a word with your centre half next to you, with your midfielder next to you, and say, look, we need to tighten up the ship for 5 minutes. You sense ebbs and flows in football, certainly as fans and as managers, and on the sideline we can see when we're under pressure, when we're not under pressure, and we just want the players to recognise that there are periods that we will be under pressure. Teams will come and be very direct, and we need to be able to be more robust in those situations and box a bit clever and almost give them some of their own medicine. And I think sometimes we think that we're probably too good to be direct, too good to play percentages, which I'd say 80% of football teams throughout all of the leagues do. So if it's good enough for everybody else, it's got to be good enough for us at St Neots.
When I'm filming a game, it's very difficult because I'm watching it on a small screen to sort of pick up on the bigger picture at times. But something I have noticed over the course of this season, we seem to be going more and more direct from a goalkeeper point of view in terms of kicking. We don't seem to be splitting the full backs. I can't remember the last time a midfielder received the ball from a throw from the goalkeeper, and that, in my opinion, is playing into the the defenders' tactics perfectly. If we're kicking long, they're more than happy to header it back all day long, aren't they? Yeah,
and that's difficult, and that comes from the responsibility of the back four or of the midfielders to go and make Baz's decision. And we speak about that. Yes, we speak about for 10 minutes keeping the game nice and solid, getting us into games, because notoriously for a few games we didn't start very well. But also, again, it comes back to recognising the game's settled down. We need to go and then get our footballers on it, get our fullbacks on it, get our centre midfielders on it, and that comes from Baz. I completely agree. We tend to kick very direct, but I think that comes from players, unfortunately, not having the confidence from the back to really get hold of the ball and start to distribute it the way we need to it, and we end up fighting. And like you said, we play into the opposition's hands, and we're going to be keeping on at them to encourage them to get on the ball and to take some responsibility. So
we're back to that sort of desire to create variation within our game and recognise what's going on, really. That's
certainly, and that comes down to having common sense and being streetwise and knowing when to do it and know how to do it. And the difficulty is, as a management team, what you don't want to do is you don't want to ask them to do something and then that's all they do.
Yes, of course,
it's down to players to take the responsibility to know when to do it and to know how to do it. And there will be periods in the game where they have to let Baz kick it, and then they'll say, okay, we're playing up against one striker, which we've had a few times at St Neots this year. Let's make the pitch nice and big. Let's get the ball off the goalkeeper. And I think too often they haven't recognised that and made a decision, right, bang, out we go, let's go nice and wide and let's start the play from the back. And that's back to players being decisive and making decisions on the pitch and being responsible. And as much as we can push it down their throat, sometimes they've got to take it on board themselves and say, okay, I need to make this decision.
Okay, so it's Thursday night training tonight. What's the plans for tonight and the look ahead for Cirencester away?
We're not at Cirencester, we're at Chippenham.
All right.
That's all right.
Chippenham.
It's about, we're going to have to go over Tuesday night some of the mistakes we made, a few vulnerabilities from a shape point of view. The thing is, you can't turn the screw too much in one session, and that's the difficulty we have. We've got very limited time when you're playing Tuesday, playing Saturday. The Thursday night, you've almost got that window where how much do you do? How much can they take on board? How much do you have to take that pressure off them as well and get them to almost put a smile back on their face and get them confident, because they've had a battering on Tuesday night. So there is an element that needs picking up, but we've still got to get our messages across, and that's a delicate balance for training tonight, that we'll do a little bit, we'll speak to them, we'll speak to a couple individually, but we'll have to try and put some form of confidence building back into the session. So it's very, we have to be patient, and I think the fans will be as impatient as that. They have to be patient as well, because it's not built overnight, it's a process. And we've came in and we got very good results very early, so everybody's optimism went through the roof. But I think now we're starting to see there's a few cracks that long term we need to tighten everything up, and it needs a bit more of a long term input, which we're working towards, and we're working very hard towards that, and I hope the boys are on board and they start to do that as well.
Yeah, well, there's certainly an expectation which is born out of the ambition of the club, isn't there? And sometimes it's difficult to manage that when you're building a team.
Yeah, there is, but there's also, we have expectations of ourselves, and I think sometimes the frustrations can creep in quite early. So on the back of a bad result or a bad string of results, that's because the expectations are so high, and sometimes we have to get a grip of that and say we're not too far off. There are fine lines, like you said. The performances going forward are very, very good, and the fine line is we're not doing the other side of the game, the ugly side, the working hard, the defending from the front. And if we can start to do that, so all of a sudden a 3-0 against turns into a 3-0 for, confidence builds, and the ship goes on again. So although it is a frustrating time, there aren't massive mistakes, and there aren't big things that are wrong. It's just tweaking here, tweaking there, tightening everything up, getting people to recognise states of the game, and I think we'll be close to where we want to be.
Just on a positive note, David Hutton's had his first couple of games for the club, and well, what a great impact he's made. He's a great player, isn't he?
Fantastic, yeah. We needed width. We needed more of a natural winger because we feel we've got strikers that need crosses. They work very good when balls are getting played behind a back four. And so we brought him in to really do that. And I think in the last couple of games, we've had more crosses than we've had in recent weeks. We've created quite a few chances. And even the other night, although we lost 3-0, we still created quite a few chances. And that's what he's been brought in for. Yeah, and two fantastic performances for him. I felt he tired the other night a little bit, which is expected. We had two games in quick succession, but I think he's certainly a positive addition to the SNTTV squad, and I think the lad's going to go on and do very well for us.
Excellent. Good luck Saturday.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Take care.